Here's the baffle installed in the sump, but there is a minor problem. Yeah. So this is the oil level sensor, and if I put that in place, you probably, I don't know if you can see that, but the top of the sensor is extremely close. It's not quite touching the baffle, but it's too close for comfort, particularly as it's on it has a rubber ring around the bottom, so I imagine when I tighten it up it's going to squash down on the rubber ring a bit. Now it's a real trade-off, because the bottom of the baffle, if you push it too far in, and that would pitch the whole thing up and give you more clearance, but if you do push it too far in, it will foul on the actual sensor, and because the sensor hole is just behind here. But then, as you can see, if you have it too far this way, then there's a chance it's going to touch the top of the sensor. I'm not going to grind the welds off and have it redone, because it's actually been welded in really nicely, and I'd rather leave it alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. We're going to lose the C of JC Racing. I'm going to cut down there, across there and up there, just so that there's a nice hole there for the sensor to provide plenty of clearance. That's gone okay. So you should be able to see there that if I wiggle it around a bit, there you go. Now the area above the oil sensor is clear, so obviously no chance of it fouling. I haven't found any reference material showing you how to fit the flaps. These are, I believe, from an M3, but I'm assuming they just push in there like that. I'm going to check before I push them in and then can't get them out, but I'm guessing it's like that, so the oil will not surge that way, but obviously it will gradually level out, because there are gaps all the way around the baffle, and then when the pressure of the oil isn't against the flaps, then the flaps will open and the oil will flow back into this area, into the main well here, if it needs to. So I think that's the purpose of it all. I can't figure out how else they go, because the only other thing they could do is go horizontally like that, but they don't fit, and also what would be the point of that? I don't see what that does. So I think I'm pretty sure this is the way they go. They go in there like that, and there's another one there. Two silly bits of rubber, cost some ridiculous amount of money. I can't remember how much they were, but they were quite expensive. Okay, so I think that's ready to go back on. Nothing else really to do until I've done the big end bearings, and then I put on the oil pickup, and then I screw the sump back on. I may actually temporarily put the sump back on. I don't like having the bottom of the engine totally exposed as it is at the moment, so I'll probably put that back on anyway, just loosely, and ready to fit on permanently once I've done everything else. Oh, the only other thing is this gooey stuff that was used in place of a gasket. I bought some of this no-nonsense sealant remover. Haven't tried it yet. Hopefully that'll do the job and clean all this up. There's a bit on the block as well, so I'll use it on there as well. One last point before I forget. I hope it goes without saying that if you cut the metalwork of the baffle, make sure you get all the filings out of the sump. So I wash them out with that clutch and brake cleaner stuff, and I sprayed that fairly liberally in there and kept washing it through until it came out clean. Here are the baffles now fitted, the flaps. They were really tough to get in the gaps, in the little slots, which probably is not surprising because you don't want them to come out, and crikey, it would take a heck of a lot of force to get them to come out, I think. Certainly come out whole. I haven't got a particular trick for you, I'm afraid. It was just a struggle. The only thing I did do, of course, is I put a bit of engine oil on the along the sort of slot thing where it pushes in, to try and ease it in. But yeah, I don't think there's a trick to it. It would have been nice to be able to sort of press them in, but there's no way you can do that because obviously this edge is in the way. Anyway, that's the sump ready to go.